is the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. Gabriel is followed by 4 SEC quarterbacks: Georgia's Carson Beck, Texas's Quinn Ewers, and Alabama's Jalen Milroe, along with Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. SEC quarterbacks have won the Heisman Trophy in 4 of the last 5 years. Heather, I'm going to start with you. Who do you think has the most to prove? Beck, Ewers, Milroe, or Dart?
I would say Milroe, and I had a chance to talk to him yesterday. He's looking me in the eye, he's smiling, and I said, I know you don't want to take 44 sacks again, so what do you have to do? And he's cognizant of the fact that there are better decisions that he can make. I talked to Kalen DeBoer about this, because when you look at Michael Penix Jr. at Washington, 16 sacks over 28 games in 2 years, that's like a 1.5% sack rate. That is unheard of. So Kalen DeBoer is very good at putting his quarterbacks in position to be protected, but there's also something on the shoulders of the QBs to know when to step up, to when to escape the pocket, to pull the ball down. And those are all things that Jalen is willing to look back on, some of those things, and perfect. And he's working with DeBoer in order to do those things. But he's got the deep ball, he's got the total package. But to me, of all those quarterbacks, because of that high amount of sacks, and obviously some of it's on the offensive line, but I think that that's where you can see the most progress of all the QBs that we threw out there.
Normally, me and my sister are on the same page, same initials, HD and HD, but this one I differ. I'm going with Quinn Ewers, and it's because, number one, I would say health, the health side of things. Can you remain healthy for a full season and not miss games? Can you prove to college football, can you prove to NFL scouts that you can remain healthy and that not be an issue? Number two, I'm gonna go from a leadership standpoint as well. I just talked about the 4 top pass catchers moving on to the National Football League and bringing 4 new guys in. How quickly can Quinn Ewers and his leadership and the chemistry with those guys show out there on the football field? I know right now they're practicing, about to start training camp or whatnot. Hopefully that rapport is there. And can that connection with those skill position players be on the same level? And I would say, lastly, can you win that national championship? You were able to get a taste of it last season in college football playoffs. Texas is back. I firmly feel like they are as well, especially looking at how their team is built. Going into the SEC, I don't think it's going to be a problem for them. I think the only thing, the hurdle for them is that, the duration of a schedule, or I should say the length of your schedule, is going to be different in the SEC versus being in the Big 12. So a lot of the close games that they had last season, those are games that you could potentially lose in the SEC if you're not on your P's and Q's. So I'm going to go with Quinn Ewers in those regards that I just mentioned, Paul.
So I'm going to break the tie here. I've got the 2 HDs. I'm siding with my adopted daughter, Heather Dinich, for a couple of reasons. Not only does Milroe have a lot to prove because he got pulled. I mean, let's not forget, the second or third game of the season last year, Milroe looked like he was done. But Alabama doesn't really have an automatic backup. They have good players. Ty Simpson is fantastic, but we don't know that much about him. But Texas has the most famous backup in the sport, Arch Manning. So if something goes haywire with Quinn Ewers, Texas has a plan. It won't be the end of the world. It will be at Alabama.
Paul, I think that last point you just made is something for Quinn Ewers that makes him have to prove more, because you have Arch Manning sitting behind you. And what history has told us, when we have high-profile quarterbacks like this sitting behind a starting quarterback, we've seen the Tim Tebow and the Chris Leak situation. We've seen the Trevor Lawrence and the Kelly Bryant situation. We've seen the Tua Tagovailoa and the Jalen Hurts situation. So for Quinn Ewers, you better be on your P's and Q's, and you better not open up or have that window of opportunity for Arch Manning to get in there and get that playing time and perform at a high level, because your job might be taken.